All right, guys, we're live and we are sure to make sure you can hear us okay. I'm going to go ahead and bring Stanley on. We are just a minute early, but that's going to be fine. Just kind of get adjusted, make sure everything's good to go. All right. So we are live in the group.
Hi.
Let's how you doing, Stan? What last we talked this morning when we were doing our test, you said you were pretty well going to work through the night.
Yeah, eventually I did not. I mean, I was kind of tired after a whole long day of teaching. So, yeah, eventually I headed home. I had a good rest, and now I'm ready to go.
No, so you went home because I know you said that a lot of times you actually sleep in the studio on a Monday.
Maybe once a week. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
okay. Well, let's see here. Let's see what our viewers going. We're
Hello,
sitting at
everyone.
we're sitting at about 15 here. We'll let it pick up. It shouldn't be too long. So we're going to go ahead and, well, we'll get to asking a couple. Well, there you go. You popped on, and all of a sudden the viewers popped up. Looky there.
Mm-hmm.
Like magic. All right. So we'll get to the first question, and it's going to be by Tim Margulis. What are some of your favorite cartoons of your childhood?
Cartoon. Okay. Okay. I grew up in Asia, so usually I watch like anime more than cartoon. But if I have to name a few American cartoon will be. Let me think. I really don't remember any of the American
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, He-Man,
Oh
G.I.
yes,
Joe.
okay. He-Man, yes, yeah, He-Man, Sheila, and yeah, pretty much those. But I'm not
No.
really a big fan of those. I mean, I watch it because it's only available on TV, so I just catch wherever I can. But I don't think I really like fall in love with those.
What about anime? I mean,
Oh, anyway, I mean,
I,
of course.
for
Okay.
a lot of us, like
Mhm,
when we think of cartoon, like it's
mhm.
just the style of the animation cartoon as opposed to just singling them out.
Right. So I watched things like Doraemon. I'm not sure if you know Doraemon is, but it was one of my biggest influence as a child. I mean, it's a little robot cat, blue color, round looking robot cat. Yeah. But it's a really popular stuff in Asia. It's called Doraemon. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm,
Look that one up. Never quite heard of it.
mm.
Okay. Well, and then next we have Ray Martinez. Is he working on any original characters that he created?
Um, I would say the only character that I created, which is original, is Pepper, and I've done quite a substantial amount of work with Pepper in the past, and the recent one was the statue that I designed with Sideshow for the Pepper, which is like you have it just right behind you. Um,
Yep.
Other than that, I am not working on anything original or developing anything original at the moment. I mean, I do draw some stuff every now and then, but I don't have a long term plan to bring it further, so to speak. Mm,
Hmm.
mm.
We're gonna have to talk about that later.
Yeah.
All right. So Christopher Manning says, "What is your favorite character to draw?"
As I say, I grew up in Asia, so my biggest influence is still pretty much anime. So I enjoy drawing a lot of anime characters, old and new, and I also enjoy gaming a lot. So at least in my younger days, now I don't really have time to game, so I spend a lot of my time drawing game-related character as well. And of course, now because I'm working in the comic industry, so I do draw quite a lot of superheroes. So as you can remember, my previous Inktober, I alternate between anime, game, and comic characters. So those are my
Hmm.
general things I like to draw. I mean, I don't have one favorite character to draw. If I want to name it, most likely characters like Chun-Li from Street Fighter, and Morrigan, and if for superheroes, it would be Supergirl, Spider-Gwen, Black Cat, Catwoman, Wonder Woman, the usual stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Mm.
Yeah, I've heard tale of the gaming that used to happen in Imaginary Friends Studios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, gaming was a really vital part of our life, and as a business, we need to know what's in and what's. I mean, as a person related to, contribute so much to the gaming industry when we develop characters for our clients, for gaming clients. I mean, we do need to understand a bit of the gaming side of things. Of course, that's my best excuse when I play game at home. When my wife asks me, "Why are you playing game?" Because it's part of my business, so that's the best excuse I can give. Yeah, so yeah, you can never get anything better than that. So I have a license to game. Yeah.
I get to read comics for a living.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's see. John Ramigo says, I wasn't able to get on Artgerm's commission list at San Diego 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Could I get in now for San Diego 2020? Wink.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do not have a pre-convention list that you can sign up for. Usually, we just need to come to my booth at the show and as early as possible to put your name on my list. Mainly because I really don't have time to do any commission outside of conventions. I can only work on it during conventions time.
Well, not only that, but at conventions, like when the line starts to queue up, I mean, you've got enough people in line to actually keep you busy for the year.
Oh yeah, pretty much. So it takes a bit of luck and to get in early and get onto my list. I mean, try my best to fit in as many as possible. That's why you see me offering something cheaper and quicker. For example, the 15-minute sketch, that is something that I allow me to work on more commission for people so that everyone can have something to bring home with. But still, the demand is really too high for me to fulfill.
It gets a little hectic, and I'm surprised some people haven't walked away bleeding. I mean, you have some very passionate fans.
Yeah, and the challenge, as you know, that many exhibitors, they would like to come to my booth to sign up for some commissions list, and it's hard to. I'm still trying to figure out with you how to find a way to have enough of fans who come to my booth and get a commission, and how many slot I can reserve for the exhibitors. And it's not easy to tell. I mean, sometimes they wear the badge of exhibitor badge, but if they know that I only take a limited number of commission for exhibitors, they'll change the badge to visitor badge. So it's really hard.
Or send their friends in line to pick another sketch up for them.
And the sad thing is that you thought they're real fans, and eventually the next day you see some of my sketches on eBay, selling double and triple the price. It's not easy to avoid that.
Yeah, that one hurt my feelings. I'm not going to go into that one. Yeah, it does. Okay, so we'll keep skipping along here. Cody Wylie.
There are a lot of questions here. Yeah, I see a lot of questions live. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 70 pre-made questions that people have.
Okay, I'll try to answer as many as possible.
What is your favorite character to read?
Now, my confession is that some of you may already know that I don't really read comics. I mean, I work a lot of American comics, but I don't really read them. I don't know where to start, and most of the time I'm just too busy trying to figure that out. So, if I have time, I will be reading manga.
Yeah, lately, if you just wait 3 years, they'll relaunch and you can start new with them.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of relaunches as of late from either Marvel or DC or there's been a whole lot of them. Which actually DC that may not work now because I believe Greg told me that they're actually going with the legacy numbering. They're actually going to start like Wonder Woman 750 that we did. They were going to make it. What was the number, Greg, that come after 750? 81. Well, they've changed that, and now it's going to be 751, 752, 753. So they're going to keep going with that.
Okay, all right.
So
Maybe
they're
it's a
doing
good
it
time
with
for me to try.
Flash. They're doing it with action. They're continuing on with all of them like
Okay.
that.
Okay, good to know.
So let's see. We got Carlos Lavera says, for his comic covers, does he do them digitally or freehand? And why does he do them that way versus the other?
I'm primary digital artist, so I start off working digitally from start to finish. So in my earlier days, all my comic covers were done digitally. Only until recent years, maybe the recent 5-6 years, and when I start learning Copics and traditional work, I start to incorporate some of the traditional medium into my comic covers. So many of my comic covers were started. For example, the Captain Marvel, not our store variant. I mean the one with the long hair and short hair version of it. That one was first done traditionally with Copic, and then I scan that in and then add the colors digitally. Do I have any preference between digital and traditional? No, I don't. Many times I feel that, okay, for example, when I have the Supergirl run, when I look at the Supergirl, I feel that the best way to portray Supergirl with the quality that I want, I think that digital is the way to go. But at times, I find that I can do something traditionally to make it look interesting. For example, the Vampirella, the recent one with charcoal, I think that gives very interesting textures I can create with the traditional medium. Then I'll go with traditional. Yeah, I'm happy with both actually.
Yeah, I don't keep it a secret that I'm very partial to your traditional styles, scanned in and then reworked in digital. Some of my Catwoman 5, I love that
Yeah.
one. Vampirella, which my feelings are hurt that wasn't an exclusive, but that's a beautiful cover.
I know that some people have this idea that digital stuff looks fake and it doesn't have that natural look to it. I mean, I'll argue, but at the same time, I do understand that there's some randomness in traditional medium that I can bring in, which is not easy to recreate digitally. So I'll try to go with the traditional at times. Yeah. I mean, basically, I try to do different things to keep myself interested and fresh in my approach. And for the collectors, it's just more fun to collect my covers that created with different methods or mediums.
Mm-hmm. There was I've heard that as well, as far as people saying that just digital doesn't have that life and whatnot, but and you can tell and it looks fake. But when you got guys like Joshua Middleton, a lot of people thought he was digital.
Yeah.
He's not. I mean,
I understand.
I mean, I think that's a lot of just, I don't know. I think it's not understanding sometimes of the way the medium is and how often you can change things up. Like your Catwoman 13, I thought that was real watercolor. I was wrong. I mean, it's
eventually, I think it's important as artists to recognize the strength and weaknesses of the medium and try to maximize it. And eventually, it really doesn't matter whether it's traditional or digital, as long as you get the outcome that you want.
Yeah. Okay, and next up, who do we got here? Tim Harris. And he says, what old school artist has been your greatest inspiration?
I would say that, I mean, there's some so-called old artists I really like. For example, Norman Rockwell. I mean, the classic ones. I love Alex Ross art. I don't even know whether he's considered old school artist, but he's been around for a long time. But I would say that still many of my inspiration as an artist came from manga and anime. So I got and gaming as well. So I got a lot of inspiration from those people. And usually I don't really fanboy a particular artist or particular group of artists. I look at art in general, and some of the art is really good. I may not even remember the name of the artist, but I appreciate the art as it is. Yeah.
That's still, speaking of like the old school, I'd still like to see an Artgerm in like the Street Fighter 2D style. You know, 8-bit graphics. I'm just curious what that would look like.
Yeah, I like 8-bit stuff.
So Jonathan Friedman asks, what is his favorite comic book series? And I'm assuming comic book or manga, either one. And story from your childhood. And what is your favorite today?
Okay, my favorite manga ever will be Fist of North Star. That was my first encounter of a very many kind of a manga. Before that, I read a lot more. Maybe it's a bit shameful to say that, but something more shoujo. Shoujo basically means more girly looking stuff. Those big eyes, sparkling eyes stuff. It's only when I encounter Fist of North Star, then I start to look at muscles, because those are buff, really buff people, and a lot of brotherhood, the kind of energy, which I really love. In fact, that was the beginning of my journey to learn anatomy because of Fist of North Star. Yeah.
Well, let's see. We have Alec Dunlap up next. And he says, will you ever do a Deadpool cover?
Of course, if the opportunity comes, I'll do it. I mean, but usually, that I don't really draw characters without face. I find it really hard to draw them with my own take on it. I mean, I try. I mean, when you look at my Spider-Man, my Carnage, those are pretty unusual for me, because usually I don't draw. For example, it's very unlikely for me to draw Iron Man, because Iron Man is really hard. I mean, no pun intended, but it's really hard, and really hard to bring in my own personal style into it without looking generic.
Yeah. I think it's really hard for with Iron Man specifically. It's hard for a lot of guys, especially as of late. With he's got that specific style that I think was Adi Granov redesigned, and anytime you look at Iron Man, you're looking at Adi Granov's creation, more or less. Yeah. So it's very hard.
Very limited poses I can think about when it comes to Iron Man. It's always like that, something along that line. So
always got the blue hand showing. Otherwise,
it's kind of boring.
Let's see. Jonathan Friedman again asks, what legendary comic book creator who may have passed by now do you wish you had an opportunity to meet, and why?
Up to today, I mean, it's funny. I mean, I haven't had a chance to meet like Stanley. Maybe I just came in a little too late for him, and by the time I came into the industry, he's always so busy going around, and I didn't have a chance to meet him. I would love to meet him.
Yeah. Is there a legendary creator that, this is the second part to his question, that you met that you were a bit, I guess, I'm going to say, he said never met, wish you had never met, but I think, I guess the term is don't meet your heroes.
I would not. I can't think of a comic creator that I would like to meet, but I have met. But there's someone that I met, which is pretty significant to me. It was Akiman. Akiman is a Japanese creator who created Chun-Li, the Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. So he worked in Capcom, and I got to meet him in San Diego Comic Con a few years ago. And that was really exciting. I mean, I had a chance to just go up to him and say that I really thank him for all the inspiration that he gave to the industry, or the gaming industry, and that was part of my childhood, playing Street Fighter. Yeah,
I remember this year at San Diego, Derek went like complete fanboy over someone. Is that the guy that he like was like?
I think he went crazy or went dumb when he met Joe Matt. Yeah.
Okay. He was just on the other side of it, still like right behind us, I believe.
Zhuo may pass by my booth and say hi to me, and Derek saw him and he was looking at me like a zombie, and I brought him over and said, "Okay, come and meet Joe." And he couldn't say anything. He just looked at him like a stupid whatever. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
Okay, get ready for this one. Now you might fire her after this. Just going to throw that out there.
Sure.
Why does he not draw? Anna wants to know, why do you not draw Goku?
Okay.
This story, guys, this story is as epic as it gets, and I'm telling you, if you listen to this, if you have to go anywhere, tell them to wait.
Okay, disclaimer. I like Dragon Balls. I mean, I grew up with Dragon Ball as well, but only up to Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, nothing after that. But the reason why I choose not to draw Goku is not because I hate Goku. I don't. But because there was once I had a fan on social media, who was a really big fan of Dragon Ball, and whenever I post anything on social media, whether it's my artworks, whether it's my family photos, or it's my food, or wherever that I take, he'll always comment on it and say, "Oh, I like what you're doing. I like the food. Can you draw Goku?" So he does that to every single post of mine. "Oh, that's a lovely family photo. Can you draw Goku now?" Something along that line. So it got to a point, it became really irritating. So at the back of my mind, I said, I'm not going to let him win. I'm not going to draw Goku. I don't want him to win because it's too irritating for me. And he kept doing it, and to the point I say, okay, screw this shit. I'm going to block him. Okay. It's just irritating, right? So I blocked him, and I thought that's it. I said, okay, that's it. He's out of my life. And one day I was at San Diego Comic-Con. I was waiting outside of my hotel, and someone passed by, and he saw me and said, "Oh, are you Artgerm?" I said, "Yeah, I am." And I said, "Oh my God, Artgerm in the flesh. Can I just talk to you for a second?" I said, "All right. How can I help you?" In fact, he kneeled down in front of me. He kneeled down. I have to bring him up. I say, "Okay, chill, right? Chill. What do you like?" And he pulled me to a corner and said, "Hey, Artgerm, want to ask you something. Do you know Dragon Ball?" I say, "Yes, of course." And he asked me, "Can you draw Goku?" I am not sure. I'm not sure if it's the same person. I have a feeling it is.
It has to be.
It was so bizarre. Like, oh my God, really?
This man flew from wherever he was from to find you.
Like,
because
was
you
that
blocked him on social media?
Like, was that my destiny? I don't know. So, but yeah, but that was a story. So I just make a point that I'm not going to draw Goku. I can draw any other Dragon Ball character, just not Goku. I just don't want him to win. Yeah.
Wow.